Job seeking while Black is a thing. Unfortunately, I talk to many Black professionals every single day who have just been done wrong by their employers and potential employers. And while there's no perfect workforce or workplace, I'm definitely going to share some tips with you today that can help you as a Black job seeker find more positive and inclusive workplaces. So let's get started. Alright, hey fam, welcome back to this video. My name's Mercedes. If you don't know me, I'm so glad that you're here. If you're coming back, I'm so glad you're here. And if you're new to my channel, I'm a career coach. I'm also a certified HR professional and an executive recruiter. And I use this channel to help Black professionals find more success and be more successful in their job searches and in their careers, ultimately to help them be more passionate and love the work that they do. So in this video, I'm going to share a few tactics, as I mentioned, to help you make sure that the employer, your future employer that you go to, is going to be one that provides you with a safe, happy, positive workplace where you can thrive. So I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of tactics to figure that out. And then I want to encourage you to stay until the end because I'm going to share some specific questions that you can ask potential employers to help you discern some of this information, whether that's when you're interviewing or networking, or even when you're in the offer negotiation stage. These tips are really going to help you. So let's go ahead and jump right into our tactics. Tactic number one is to analyze that job description. Okay, you got to do it because there are often going to be little nuggets or little red flags that's really going to tell you about what a company values, what they want to see. So I'm going to go through a couple of them, but this is not the end all be all list. Okay, so if you're reading through and you're like, that don't sound right. What I'm trying to say is when somebody tells you who they are, believe them, okay? So believe the employer for what they're putting in there, and if it looks like it could be a toxic workforce, then just don't even go for it, okay? So here's a couple of things to look for. One, did they mention anything about diversity, equity, inclusion, access, anything like that? Talking about fostering a positive workplace, talking about the importance of culture. A lot of companies are starting to put statements about their commitments to DE&I. So if you're not seeing any of that, it probably means that it's not the forefront of that company's values, what they're trying to do, their culture. If it's not in there, it's probably not a place that you want to work. The second one is just straight up words, okay? There are some red flag words that, like, for real, if my clients come to me and they say, oh, this looks like a good position, I'm like, it's not. We're not doing this, okay? We're not doing this. So these words are words like competitive, assertive, fast-paced, because when they put that in a position description, like, oh yeah, we're competitive, like, you know what that must mean when you are actually working there, right? Unless you're like in a sales role, like this is a hard no, okay? Because what it means is that they probably have a really competitive workforce, or it's really fast-paced, meaning probably there's not a lot of work-life balance, or that people are stressed out. Assertive kind of just means aggressive some of the times, and that's like their very mild way of putting that into a position description so that the people that apply are more assertive people. But if you're not, these aren't things that really resonate with you, then it's probably not a workplace that you want to be in. It's probably going to be toxic. It's not going to be a place that you're going to thrive and grow. So absolutely no. Out of there. Bye. Okay, number 3 within analyzing the job description is making sure that the job itself makes sense. So if you're reading through this job and you're like, this does not sound like they got their together, okay? It probably means they don't, first of all. So look at the duties, look at the roles. If the position is really unclear or vague, or they even seem like, wait a minute, there's just too many duties going around in here. Like, I'm doing HR and sales, like, you know, something like that, where it's like, these are two different jobs. Why is this like this? It probably either means that people are overworked and they don't really have enough people to really fill their positions, or it could mean that they have no idea what they want this person to come in and do, and so they have just put everything in here. And as a Black professional being held to a different standard sometimes, when you have positions that are not clearly defined, they want to blame you for that. So that's why it's not your place to really go into a position and try and figure out what they want from you. They need to be able to tell you that, and that's why that's a red flag, okay? I will tell you about it. I've only ghosted, this is my fun story. So I have only ever ghosted one employer. I wasn't feeling good about it. I'm a recruiter, so like, oh, it's just terrible. But basically, I did have an employer that I read through their job description, I applied, and then when I went through, I was asking them questions about, okay, their team, how many employees they have, because I was like, something's not right. I applied anyway. I've grown. I want you to grow too. And so I was reading through it, and then I was like, yeah, how many HR people? They were like, oh, we have 5. And I was like, oh, okay, well, how many employees they have? And they're like, oh, we have like 1,000 employees. And I was like, and we're actually bringing on this many. I was like, that's not enough HR people, okay? That's not enough HR people to do the job that you're asking me to do, that I would be overseeing like 300 employees, right? Like I would be their representative. Like that's crazy. And then when I went to my secondary interview, when I was talking to them, they were telling me like all of this stuff that was totally different than what was in the position description. I was like, no, it does not make sense. This is unclear. This is too much work. And I was just like, peace. Don't do that. Just tell them it doesn't sound like a fit. Don't ever let your professional brand, right, become a matter of question. Okay, so just keep those things in mind. All right, so that's tactic number 1. Analyze the job description. Moving on to tactic 2, which is to review their website. I want you to do some research. I want you to kind of get a sense of what this company is. Now, I'm not telling you to do this for every single job and in so much detail, but like if you go to a company's page again and you cannot tell that they have any sort of commitment or goals around diversity, equity, inclusion, then it will probably not be a workplace where you feel included or you feel that you belong, okay? And I think that even if we are going into a place where people are generally pleasant people or happy people, it probably also means that generally the organization is unaware of how workplace systems and bias and everything else really affects Black people. And I don't even just mean bias in terms of like microaggressions. I mean like real ramifications for growth. If they are not self-aware enough to notice or understand that this is an important thing to ingrain in their culture and the way that they do things, it's probably not going to be a place that you're going to be able to thrive, because you're going to be trying to fix it. That ain't okay. So look at their mission, look at their company goals, look and find out if they have any public diversity commitments that they have made, any initiatives that they're doing. Also, look at visuals, right? So if a company is sensitive to this, they're wanting to do work, they're wanting to make improvements in DE&I in their company, and they're very intentional about hiring underrepresented groups, minorities, Black people, they will be sensitive to the types of wording and visuals that is on their website, and to make sure that those are inclusive. So definitely think about that. Number three is find reviews. There is so much information that's out there for you to learn about companies, and you may not be able to do this again every single time you apply to a position, but definitely as you're going through the interview process, start to do some research and find out what these companies are about. There are so many places to review companies. Some companies even have case studies that are out there in places like the Harvard Business Review that talk about their company culture, that really gives you a sense about whether this company is known for being a good place to work. Are they ranked? Do they have any awards? Those types of things. Find tangible reviews out there in the world to help you make an assessment. So you can certainly look on LinkedIn. What are the company's employees talking about there? Are they making their own posts that are outside of HR? Sorry, I know. Sorry. HR just people, we just be talking about things. But people outside of HR that are in similar paths or careers that you're interested in, have they posted on LinkedIn? And what are they talking about? Are there any reviews on Indeed or Glassdoor? I haven't used this app yet, but I've been seeing a lot about Fishbowl, where you can post anonymous reviews about your employer on there. So just take a moment to look at the reviews about a company and take that in and say, right, usually the angriest people are the people that go and post those reviews, but sometimes those are telling. Maybe all of the faces are Black and brown faces. All right, tactic number 4. I want you to talk to other Black people. And I want you to talk to other Black, Indigenous people of color who may not be Black, other people of color, right? I want you to talk to current employees as well as former employees who are Black or also from other underrepresented groups. Maybe they are Indigenous, other people of color. I want you to talk to them and find out what they think about that company. Specifically, if they are people who were former employees that left, right? That is going to be so helpful. One of the things that you can do to do this is to find them on LinkedIn or find them through other groups or anything like that that allows you to connect with them and get their feedback about whether that's a place that they felt was a safe place for Black professionals to work. You can also ask that in an interview. So if you have individuals who you're interviewing with that are underrepresented or minority candidates, ask them about that specifically. Maybe see if you can ask them about that outside of that group conversation. See if there's any ways that you can talk to individuals in the company who are in similar roles that may be underrepresented minorities outside of the interview process and explain why that's important to you. These are things that you can absolutely do in the process to get a better sense of what's actually happening there and how people that look like you feel in that organization. Hi, if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, or if you've been here before and you also haven't subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe and join my channel. I want to grow. I want to help this channel get more to get to more Black professionals. So subscribe. Okay, let's get back to the video. The last thing that I will say is that I want you to be careful, because I think sometimes what I've seen with clients in the past of mine, coaching clients who are really excited about working in other companies or businesses that are minority or Black-owned businesses, I want you to be careful to not make the assumption that that makes it a positive workplace, right? So it may make it a better workplace for you to be in from the standpoint of working with somebody that understands what it means to be Black at work, understands maybe you don't have to overcome those barriers of understanding you as a Black professional and what you deal with. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they automatically will provide you with a positive workplace. So these tenets or these questions or these types of things that you have to be thinking about still apply. So keep that in mind. That was not a tactic, but I just had to put it out there, okay? So we're going on to the bonus questions. Woo! I guess the bonus thing for questions that you can ask. So let's go. Okay, so you have a ton of tactics that can help you do some research, just get some better understanding of whether or not this company is a place that you will be safe and valued and happy most of the time, right? Right, because sometimes they work on our nerves, just even if they're doing the best. But it's a work in progress always. But one of the things that I do want to encourage you to do, especially as you get to the interview stage or even an offer negotiation, is to ask questions and listen very carefully to how they frame these answers. So the same way that you may be looking for red flags in a position description or what's out there online in an online review, listen very carefully to what they answer when you ask these type of questions. So here the questions are. Hopefully I'll put them on the screen somewhere. The first one is, what are the demographics of your leadership team, right? I want to explain this a little bit because though there is so much work to be done to allow individuals of color to have more accessibility to grow and develop as leaders, if there is no representation at a leadership level, that shows you that they may say this in a performative manner, but there's no action between this is an important value that we say we have, and this is how we've actually supported that in our organization to have upward movement of people of color, right? The second one is, what are the demographics of the workforce in general, right? So you can see how you can kind of see, right? Oh, okay, well, I see this here, right? When I get to the middle management, This is where the diversity of your group and your team really breaks off. If you are a Black individual and you have some intersectionality there, right? Maybe you are an individual that has a disability. Maybe you are an individual who is a veteran. You can also ask about those demographics as well. Some companies are even capturing information about the LGBTQ plus community, and you can ask things about that too if they're able to share that information and they capture it based on their, here's my HR things, based on their legal requirements, right? Sometimes we can't do that. But ask those types of questions, and I hope that they're able to provide it. No, they maybe are not able to say 29.2%, but if they can give you a general sense and you can tell that it's genuine, it's something that's helpful. If they can't answer that, or they do give you demographics that are really not favorable based on the population or the group of how diverse their group should be, then they should be able to tell you what they're doing to fix that. And that leads into my third question, is asking, what are your strategic goals for diversity, equity, inclusion? Or what programs do you have to increase or foster a culture of DE&I in your company? Ask them that. This is a quote question. Who's responsible for DE&I at your company? By the way, they should answer something along the lines of everyone's responsible. If they don't, and the last thing that you can ask is something along the lines of, what do you do to ensure that individuals from underrepresented groups or Black professionals, anything like that, are supported and included in your workplace or at your company? Right? So those are some questions. I hope you choose a couple from these. Use these tactics to really help you get into the type of job, the type of employer, the type of career path that is going to help you be not only happy, but successful. I want you all to know that I'm rooting for you. And I want you to know, like, this community that we have here and that is continuing to growing is also rooting for you. And so what I really want to know is from you, from your experience. Like I said, I talk to people all the time that face discrimination, that have not been allowed to be happy or feel safe or advance in their workplaces. So I want to know a little bit more about your experience and what are some of the things that you may have gathered or put two and two together after you worked at a company. What did you find out? What are some of the red flags that you wish you knew or that you would like to share with other Black job seekers who are out there? I would really love for you to share some of that information in the comments. I think the more that we know and that we can consider these things and look for these things, right, it can help us as a community, right? Because at the end of the day, these type of employers do not deserve our talents and the way that we really support and foster environments, cultures, growth, change, all of these things. So I want us to together to be able to work to a place where we are knowing that we're going into a place where we're going to be valued. And so before we end this, if you're somebody right now that is your Black job seeker, you really want to pursue a career that's led with purpose and passion, where you're happy and you're fulfilled, and you want to be competitive, right? You want to say, okay, I found this great company that's inclusive and inviting and positive. I want to be the type of professional that is able to get that kind of job. I want to invite you to join the Black Professionals Academy. It is my low-cost membership that allows individuals like you to get access to resources, tools, trainings, support from me with coaching to help you get the resources and guidance that you need to land your dream job in a positive and inclusive work environment. So if you'd like to join, I would love to have you. I'd love to see you and join, talk to you as you join the Academy. There's more information in my bio as well as the comment section for you to join. As always, it is my only wish and desire for you to thrive. I want you to have that type of career that you love to wake up and you love to get to work every day and you feel happy and you feel overjoyed. And so I'm sending you all of that energy, that positivity to go ahead and make that happen in your career. Above all else, my piece of advice to you is that no matter what your background is, your experience, whether you were laid off, fired, you hated your job, you hated your boss, whatever it is, they did you wrong, which I know happens. I want you to know that you'd never, ever, ever have to settle for a workplace that is toxic, that doesn't value you for your unique experiences, or that is also just harmful to your mental, emotional, physical health, whatever. And please know that even if it's a temporary opportunity that you feel like is going to get you to a better place because of the concerns that you have, please know it's never worth that. I want you to know that you're able to land your dream job, you're able to be successful, and I want you to know that a positive workplace where you feel valued is out there. So I will see you all in the next video. Oh, by the way, if you like this video, yeah, subscribe, like it, share it, whatever. I forgot to do this in the video, but I will see y'all later. Okay, bye. Bye. Okay.